The original iPhone, the iPhone that operated on 2G network. Yes, this is the original first generation iPhone that came out in 2007, and I got one here. This thing cost $500 when it was new. $500? But I paid $30 for this a couple years ago on eBay. The seller thought it was broken because it was stuck on an activation screen, but once I inserted a SIM card, it unlocked and worked just fine. When I got it, it came in this iPhone 3G box, and I got excited for a second thinking it was the original box, but no, it's a 3G box, but still really cool to have. So I have an obsession with first generation technology products, and this thing was a big one on my list. And I'm very happy I got it for only $30, which usually you pay at least $50 for one of these things. It usually has some sort of problem. Well, let's take a look around my device here. We got the reflective Apple logo. Mine is the 8GB model, so not too rare. I think this is the most common model. The plastic is a bit cracked on mine, but honestly, it would make it a lot easier to open up if I ever had to fix something on here. Here we got the 2-megapixel camera, I believe. It's pretty bad, but it works. It was okay for the time, I guess. We got the power button, the full-size SIM card tray, and a recessed headphone jack. Now, I was worried that even Apple headphones wouldn't work. I thought you would need headphones from the era of this thing to work with this, but even modern Apple EarPod headphones work good in here. And I cannot find any extensions online, so that kind of sucks. Because there was like adapters that you would put in there so you could have headphone jacks with fatter plugs on them. We have a vibrator switch, which is still current on modern iPhones, and the volume buttons. And you can hear how the vibrator sounds. Now I present to you the horrors of my homemade screen protector. I believe it was originally for an iPhone 5, but I cut it up and I got it good enough to work. And the main reason why I have a screen protector and I was so concerned about the headphone jack is that I actually used this for an amount of time. As an iPod, of course, because, well, it's kind of a pain to try to get this on a 2G network again, because those are basically gone. But yeah, I listened to music, I had videos stored on there, had fun taking pictures with the camera. But then I kind of realized, okay, yeah, I shouldn't be really carrying this everywhere I go just because I'd hate for it to ever get damaged. So let's take a look at the software on this thing. Let me turn down the lights and stuff so we can actually see it without a bunch of reflections. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so let's press the home button, and here we are at the lock screen. Got that classic globe wallpaper. The date and time are incorrect. And you can see no service, and it's connected to Wi-Fi. So let's slide to unlock. And as you can see, this is on a very early version of iOS. When I was in high school, I'd like to tell people, try to take a screenshot, and they would go ahead and try, and they're like, wait, what? It's not working. This is on iOS 1.1.4. Now, it didn't come that way. When I used it, it was on iOS 3. I also had some games and stuff on there that I side-loaded because it was jailbroken and stuff that took forever to do, but I had Angry Birds and little fun games like that. But I downgraded it to iOS 1.1.4. It's noticeably faster, and it's just really cool to have. You can see the storage and how much is available, the songs and videos, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, I cannot get this down to iPhone OS. That's what it's called, iPhone OS, but I'm just going to call it iOS. I couldn't get it down to iOS 1.0 because that's only with, I believe, early versions of the 8GB and the 4GB. So I wasn't lucky enough to have one that old, but you know what? This is good enough. So let's kind of take a look through the apps and see how they were like. So let's start off with the phone, because that's what this is. See, it can play music. We got contacts, and yeah, and that's kind of what it would look like if, I don't know, you tried to call. And we got mail. I'm not going to mess with it too much because I tried signing in, and it unfortunately doesn't work. It did work at one point, but I have Gmail, and Google servers doesn't like it anymore and stuff. Maybe if you had Yahoo, it would work, but yeah, unfortunately, that doesn't work anymore.
Which makes it not a very good email machine.
And next, we have Safari. So let's open that. I already have Google loaded. Let's just try searching something.
The keyboard.
And there we got some websites. So if you would be interested in seeing if you could browse the internet with this thing, I might make a dedicated video just for that. So let me know if you're interested in seeing that. So next we have iPod. This is where all the music and stuff I listen to. Let's take a quick listen. And we have McDonald's because, I don't know. So next we have iTunes. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't work. Neither does the App Store on iOS 6 or older, so that's sad, and that happened recently, so yeah, can't connect. So now we have Clock, which is 100% functional because it doesn't rely on internet. You can set alarms, you can have a stopwatch, a timer. It works really good. And of course the calculator does. We can do math. I really like the design of the calculator. And notes also works perfectly fine. We have H, February 10th. Let's finish it. Oh yeah, you have to use the magnifying thing. So that works. Settings, of course, mostly works. We got the wallpapers. Got Mona Lisa. We got this scary thing. We got a flower. Very standard, classic iOS wallpapers. Very basic settings, but it gets the job done. And the user interface was pretty good at the time. Now, obviously, YouTube isn't going to work. There is a workaround if you jailbreak and you're on a newer version of iOS, like iOS 3 or later, I believe. I think you can get it working, but that's probably not going to work for much longer because Google keeps changing YouTube. Stocks, unfortunately, doesn't work, but at least you can take a look at how it used to look. Maps works fine, surprisingly. We got China. Let's get directions to China. Well, that works, but unfortunately the maps on iOS 6 don't work because that's relying on Apple servers, not Google's. We have text messaging, which would work if you were to get service on here. Let's say if you were to type in a message, the loading bar is down there instead of up here like it is now, so that's pretty cool. The calendar works just fine. It's a calendar, why wouldn't it work? I like the skeuomorphism in it, the kind of 3D look. Looks really nice. And now we're here with camera and photos, so let's grab something to take a picture of. So I got the perfect thing to take a picture of. A piece of shit. Okay, so here's what the camera app looks like. You can take a picture and view your pictures. you get all those options. Take a look how that shutter looks. For some reason, I remember it being slower. So I don't really feel like going through the hassle to import this picture and stuff, so you can just take a look at it here. And it's really not that bad with good lighting, but in comparison with just about any other smartphone, it's horrible. So don't buy this phone to take pictures. And you can rotate it, and you can see that the icons don't turn with it. So yeah, that's about it to take a look at this thing. There's not a whole lot it can do. It's an excellent MP3 player if you want to listen to audio in really good quality, because it has a really good digital to analog converter, I think it's called. I don't know, it has good sound quality. And it's definitely a good collector's piece to have, because these are constantly getting more and more rare. And if you happen to get one for a good price, I would 100% recommend you buy it. Not to use it, but just to have it. And I guess something to watch out for is the battery. I could assume that over time it'll expand and start pushing on the screen, similar to an iPod Nano. But the battery on this one has been really good. It actually lasts a few hours still. So I don't think this phone was used all that much. So I hope you enjoyed taking this look at this first generation iPhone. And let me know if you'd like to see any more things about it. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys for watching. Bye.